Hey guys, my name is Lucas Boyd and I am going to talk to you today about cancels, the thing that keeps us up at night when we're salespeople, and I'm going to try and shed light on some of the more fundamental areas that might be having a negative impact on your ability to retain customers. So to start off, I will show you this graph, and most of you will have seen this before. Okay. This is price, and this is value. Most of you will be familiar with this. Those of you who are not, essentially what the idea is that you want value to exceed price in order to entice your customer to make a buying decision. Now, one of the mistakes we make is people will focus either on price or they'll focus on value. And price, when it stands alone, doesn't have very much of an impact, if any at all, on the sale itself. So for example, if you put a 30,000 here, well, that doesn't mean anything. So what? If you're buying a pen, it's a ripoff. If you're buying a country or something, it's a pretty good deal. So price, when you just look at price alone, that metric by itself doesn't mean anything. And the same goes for value. If you're just looking at value, you might have a little bit of value for something, or you might have a lot of value. But these two things, when they're alone and you focus on them as separate entities, they don't matter. Now the third gauge that I want to go over with you guys, I call this satisfaction. And that is how satisfied your customer is with the purchase they made. This has a massive impact on whether or not your customer is going to cancel. Obviously, if they're satisfied with the purchase, they're not going to cancel. If they're dissatisfied, then you're probably going to get a cancel. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to erase this. Okay, so how do we get this? Well, this point here, I call this point 0. And the way we get our satisfaction gauge is it is the difference between price and value. Okay, and because we are below point 0, and point 0 represents how much money you would like for the sale, you don't want to go below point 0 or else it defeats the purpose of doing sales. So because we're below point 0, the value is lower than our asking price in the customer's eyes, we're in the negative. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Now the number itself doesn't matter. What matters is what it represents. Because we are below the price point that we're asking for in value, you are in a negative zone. And the further below that price point you go, the more likely you are to get a cancel. So satisfaction in this case could be like a -5. Again, the number doesn't matter, it's just what it represents. Now the reverse is true. If you go like this and bring value up, go like this, this is your new satisfaction gauge. And because we're above point 0, we're in the positive. Sorry, it's kind of messy. Now what your goal is you want to get as high above point 0 as possible. This is where this is your safe zone. The higher above the higher the perceived value is above your price point, the less likely you are to get a cancel. Now some of you might be thinking, well, this is stupid because who would ever buy down here? A customer is not ever going to buy something when they know that what they're buying is worth less than what they're paying. However, and actually that's commonly taught, but it's actually not true. There's a couple characteristics, well there's a lot of characteristics, but I'm going to go through a couple characteristics that you can leverage that'll get you in this zone. And the salespeople that tend to use these characteristics are the ones that have higher cancellation rates. So the first one is the alpha. The second one is the best friend. Now, I really hope that there's some best friends watching this, because often you're confused as to why you're getting canceled. You're not sure what's going on. And best friends are also prone to taking self-esteem hits. So I hope there's some best friends on here so I can help shed some light on some of those things. Number 3, the bagger. So first, I'll start with the alpha. What I'll do is I'll go through what these are, and when I'm done, I will try and explain what you can do to prevent getting cancels with these characteristic types. So the first one, the alpha. The alpha, it's not a bad thing to be an alpha. You're someone that has a lot of presence. You don't take no for an answer. Often the alpha is able to apply a lot of pressure. So much so that they can muscle